for a trade deal, but the dramatic events of Daniel Khalif have made the news agenda about something quite different. Just when he was hoping for a good moment, he's been overtaken by events. And another storm brewing domestically is Rishi clamping down on trans kids, because it's been reported that the Prime Minister is considering abandoning plans to ban children from changing gender at schools. Sunak has vowed to clamp down on kids who demand to be referred to by a different pronoun and wear the uniform of the opposite sex, which is quite a U-turn on a previous position. Well, joining me now is LGBTQ activist and director of the Peter Tatchell Foundation, Peter Tatchell. Good afternoon to you, Peter. So another U-turn by Rishi on the trans debate. Can you set out what the new position is and what it's changed from, please?
Well, as you say, Rishi Sunak wanted to have a total ban on trans pupils socially transitioning. Social transitioning does not involve surgery. It simply involves using their preferred new name that accords to their gender identity and being allowed to wear clothes that would correspond to that. So there's no medical interventions or surgery involved. The government was planning to have a total ban, but now the government looks like it's going to U-turn because the Attorney General, a Conservative politician, has determined that a total ban would be unlawful under Britain's equality laws. There's also been row back from the Conservative Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, who says that this would be an unreasonable thing to impose on trans pupils. And in most cases, of course, trans pupils do socially transition with the consent of their parents, teachers, and fellow pupils. So it's something that has already and long existed in schools, and there have not been the problems that many people fear and predict.
Okay, Peter, Kemi Badenoch had originally wanted a firmer stance on this around the issue of compelled speech, and that was effectively forcing teachers to use pronouns if they didn't want to do. There's a similar situation to Jordan Peterson, what he had in Canada. He didn't want to be told what speech to use. But aside from that, what would you say to critics who said that the teaching of transgenderism, LGBTQ politics has no place in schools whatsoever? It's causing a mental health crisis, and this is ostensibly mounting up to the grooming of young minds. It should be kicked out of schools altogether.
Well, there is no law that forces or compels anybody to use correct pronouns, but it is a matter of courtesy and respect. So even if you don't agree with trans people, I think just showing them the courtesy of referring them to them by their preferred name and pronoun, that's just a common decent thing to do. It's not a big ask. Most people do that already. It's only a minority, a vocal minority, who object. But in our schools, I've been to schools where they have pupils who have socially transitioned. They have been entirely accepted by their parents, the teaching staff, and fellow pupils. They are welcomed. The principle is, in a democratic society, we respect individual rights and personal freedoms. And that must include the right to be referred to by the name that you prefer and the pronouns that you prefer. Now, when it comes to teaching about LGBT plus issues in schools, no teaching encourages anyone to be LGBT or T. The teaching is about combating prejudice, to promote understanding, and to reduce bullying in the classroom and the playground.
But Peter,
that is the response that most parents.
But Peter, what would you say to those, for example, around their matters of their faith, their religion? They don't agree with this kind of thing, and if they're being told that they must use people's pronouns because they're told to, that's against free speech.
Well, people have a right to hold their opinions, but in a free society there has to be give and take. We are different. There's diversity in our society, and I welcome that. But, we shouldn't, expect people to just, say whatever they want. It's just kindness and compassion to respect the way people want to be referred to.
Okay, Peter Tatchell, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. We have to cut you short. Lots more coming up on today's show. But first, let's take a look at the all-important weather on this Heatwave Saturday.